Welcome everyone, and very good afternoon or good evening from whichever part of the world you have started. And I'm very excited to go over with you on today's session. And I know some of you are very new to Power Platform, or some of you are new to the community, as I heard earlier. But this is the kind of session that we are going to conduct, and the kind of information which I'll be sharing with you. It is very simplified, and I hope you will be able to absorb it, and it will be very beneficial for you to explore more opportunities on Power Platform. I'm Cloud Solution Architect for Microsoft Canada. My name is Nalini Mehta, and I welcome you all again. And the pretty much the agenda which I'm going to cover around business transformation idea, which might look like a very heavy topic, but we have covered very generic. Pointers like opportunities around Power Platform, how the trending motion of custom connectors is evolving, industry example little bit to touch upon, and some common architecture for you to consider in your development or to plan your strategy to build as a partner with Microsoft. So, in the end, I will be sharing more detail. Last one is Power Gamification. This is the event which we are organizing for Canadian MS partners. Canadian Microsoft partners, and I'll be sharing how you can participate in that event to share your expertise on Power Platform. And I will be welcoming your participation in upcoming time to see more and more development and creativity on Power Platform. So, five focus areas for the next level of low code. Everybody is talking about low code. We all have heard about low code, but um, what are those focus areas that we are trying to focus as Microsoft on low code platform is like first and foremost is the enterprise trust. As you know, the agility of Microsoft solution, each of the Microsoft solutions are built up on Azure platform, where we have heavily integrated with Azure AAD and all security protocol, threat protection, all kind of secure infrastructure which is powered by Microsoft throughout and which is well tested and being promoted all uh, all across the years. So on top of that heavy architecture, which is already successful, which is already being used by our lots of customers and partners, why not have some extra components to help them ease their development efforts? So that is what the Power Platform is all about, and that is where the low code started trending. So when we say that kind of trust that we are having with our customers already, we are trying to maintain it because our new platform is also based on the existing platform where we have the trust from our partners and customers. Next section is about AI everywhere. So everybody is talking about we want to implement AI, we want artificial intelligence in our products and components. And look at the feasibility of its implementation. Not everyone can put data scientists, right? So not every organization will be able to spend that much of time in just doing the AI component built up and all. So what Microsoft is helping every organization do is we will do that middleware development work for you. We will give you those AI product, which will run on your data, which will create intelligence the way you want to create. Our partners will help you implement that on your platform. So that is the whole intent where we need partners cooperation, because Microsoft's engineering team has built certain products which are capable of doing those AI heavy lifting, where partners can jump in and create some kind of extra enhancement, or maybe they can help them transform to customers need, or they can help them fit them to customers existing infra, because Microsoft has vast variety of platform and products. So that is where we need partners support and partners awareness to our products, and we do have a lot in those areas. Next is the collaborative app. The last one, the example for those areas were AI Builder and a lot of other product mixed reality. We do have those machine learning scores, customer insights, all that are included. Now coming to the collaborative apps. So when we are talking about that Teams infrastructure and doing all the approvals on our app infrastructure, that I'm just pinging somebody, I get the approval, I just approve that person's, I reject, that person knows, I know what is pending on my action. Everything is happening on Teams, so it's so fast and convenient for me to use. Those kind of collaborative action for any organization to implement with ease is what we are giving the platform. So every organization will come up with their own need, and partners should be capable of finding it out which product line can solve those different possible combinations altogether for multiple customers. Other one is the fusion teams, which you are all very much comfortable, because in the COVID world, in the current era, we are all like working remotely. So we had to implement all those remote working facilities that were given with the Teams platform. And hyper automation is another one which is evolving, and we do have a great potential for partners to help and collaborate on those areas. So now coming to the entire the basic level where we have the data, you have to analyze the data, you have to act on the data, or you have to put some triggers or the automate where you save something on your connected ERP system, your connected CRM system, you retrieve something. Those kind of things are like those triggers or the actions that you want to run. So this is pretty much in every kind of implementation on high level you need to do. Now, coming to the opportunities that you will be able to do with the Power Platform. In the last slide, we just touched upon the name of different Power Platform products that we are already aware of. Now, adding those to the existing opportunities that we see. What do you do in the regular work that we have, or the regular conversation we have with our customers as a partner? So the different opportunities that can be related to Office 365 or D365 or Azure related extended opportunities. There could be some kind of manage and govern the solution. That solution can be like some kind of pipeline management, that can be some kind of governance and users, AD authentication, on-prem system, many more. There could be some mission critical end-to-end development which requires a lot of AI app and intelligence analytics, connected app, automate everything. You might have to connect to some kind of legacy system, which can be some kind of on-prem system, or maybe some kind of third-party environment where you have to connect and get data and send it back, kind of those kind of two-way actions, right? You might not always have Microsoft platform product implemented. You might have some third-party Oracle, SFDC, or SAP systems implemented, but still you work in the same infra because you talk through those components. You have that ease in the platform where we don't restrict our customer to only use our product, but we facilitate them to get that outbound motion with our other products as well. The other one could be you are building some kind of reusable components. You're very well aware of our PCF controls, where a heavy ISV effort is uh, required, where you build those controls, those UI components by yourself, and you facilitate that interactive UI motion with Microsoft. Final one is my favorite, at mixed reality control, where you can analyze all those 3D motions and you customize solution. Check out more with the HoloLens and Power App Together motion and how this 3D world is evolving on Microsoft Power Platform infrastructure. So, when we have lots and lots of opportunity all around, being an a business opportunity, if you have to discover something for your customer or for your partners, how do you go about it? Let's say, um, before I move to the next slide, one announcement, I might go over the questions if there are any at the end of the session. So I might not be able to see them right now. So keep posting your questions in the chat window in case you have any, and we will go over at the end. So now going to this particular slide where I'm just taking one example. Let's say we have SAP connector. And you are all aware that Microsoft and SAP together motion you might have heard about, and you might have learned a lot is happening around that area. But what are three different use cases where you can see that connectivity happening? There could be some RPA use case, there could be some ERP connector use case, or there could be some custom connector where you have to write those API and build those motions because those SAP environment or versions are not supported. You might have to, or those functions are not supported, which can be some custom baddie actions or some functions which are explicitly maintained in ABAP language. So all those kind of different kind of paths that you have to follow basis different kind of customers you are engaged with. As an ISV, your thought process could be to build some kind of a solution which can work as a black box to do those connector experience and provide that data, some kind of subscription kind of vision with the Power App, formulated from their heavy backend, connected with their SAP NetWeaver or connected with their SAP GUI environment, and giving them a platform where they can go over a mobile app and do all those heavy transactional data on the SAP system. They are all connected through those awesome and amazing Power Apps. So those kind of ideas which has to evolve, that partner has to put footprint on. They might have to create those kind of samples and demos and working models which customers can understand and relate it to. If I have to come across one of the intrinsic detail about it, being a developer, if you have to look at it, there are some connector. How easy those connectors are to implement. You see, my first one where the person is SAP expert. He knows what kind of credential, what is that function name is, what are those system name, client number, logon type, SAP port, server name, all those information. Maybe some parameters that are required, he will be able to fill. If a citizen developer, like a lot of consultants will be available in the partner organization, they will be able to create those SAP logins and create their AAD view to test those different functions that we have, and they will be able to create those apps. Okay, I have those functions exposed to me, now I can implement them to my different UIs. And now, as an end-to-end person who is using the app, see, is my banking end customer, he will be able to search the record. So he is actually using his AAD credentials to log in and go all the way to this SAP system where you have all the data. So understand the overall experience where everything is so smooth, because Power Platform is that low code platform which is allowing you to interact with it, interact within hybrid environment with some basic information. So this is simplified for one of the third party connector. There could be many. A customer can have a hybrid system, a customer can have a heavy analytical system, so which all can be implemented. And we do have 300 plus connectors in Power Automate to support all those motion. And the ones which are not available, we give the avenue to create custom connectors, which I will talk about what that is in my upcoming slide. So to touch base upon what that custom connector story was, which I just talked about. So here is the slide. I do have my YouTube video around that Citrix connector and few more other third-party connectors. So what happens is, every APIs, or most of the APIs which are publicly available, they will be giving their OData API with which you can connect to them using any kind of tools, let's say Postman or maybe some browser tools or so many other tools that are available with the auth token or authorization. Now, Microsoft low code platform, where we are facilitating our ISVs to create custom connectors or our partners to create custom connector, you can put those API connection, you can generate those tokens online, and you can build that connectivity on your app without writing or maintaining a lot of code. You don't have to put everything on Visual Studio. Don't have to keep pushing things. It will just be a low code connector. Step 1 2 3, you are just connected, you share all the information which are asked by connector, you test your connector, and you are done. And then you can reuse that connector for your in-house solution, or you can publish that connector for public use as well. So there are lots of other details available how to do on the respective pages from Microsoft Docs, and you can go around that. But as an ISP, this is one of the example that I have taken. You can implement many more basis your customers preference. Now we talked about a lot of heavy examples. Now I'm just switching to a very light example to show it's not all difficult or API or AI or everything you need to know. But as a simple ISV implementation, who has worked on Azure or who might have worked on modern work, who want to work on Power Platform and want to see if there are opportunity, who is not into a lot of code. This is a classic example which we talk about, the Heathrow Airport example. The person, he was a security officer. He used that Power App to use that user adoption, and the amazing infrastructure he was able to facilitate for airport was amazing. And that created a good example for all of us. Like, it doesn't have to be a very techie person to learn this low code platform, but you can get started and you can do the excellent job and show up as a brilliant sample to around the world. So now switching my gears and just telling you some of the interesting user case studies. Let's say for Autoglass, this is one of the example which is available on our Microsoft partners network as well, which we call as CDX, and you will be able to use and demo this example. But if you as an ISV have to build, you can understand, you are able to check any vehicle, you are able to scan those vehicles, you are able to get their registration detail, doing not just the data entry but feeding them back to the connected system and finding all those order information, pricing, colors, changing those modules, making some kind of 3D envisioning. And then on the other side of it, creating a help desk and the customer service system where you have your dashboards with the process, progress, reporting, all those information can go as an dashboard, and you are able to track them all individually. All those examples that I've covered so far, that can align to any kind of industry, not just the automobile. It can go to banking, it can go to retail, manufacturing, lot many industries you can connect it with. But now, if I have to explicitly talk about some of the um, very most commonly used architecture in the Power Platform, you will see these connectors are heavily used, which I'm showing you right now. Like SurveyMonkey, Mailchimp, those kind of thing, Project Online, SMTP, Twitter. Twitter is the social integration, Azure Blob, SharePoint Online. I'm talking about a lot of popular first party, but we do have included a lot of third party connector like RSS feeds, um, push notifications, and Salesforce, Twitter, and Twilio. Twilio is the very popular one for the phone and caller dialer experience. So you will see all of them. They are just you just Facebook, of course. You just connect them with the configuration. You create developer account on the Twitter or the Facebook, which is straightforward, and you have your entire experience. You are able to use their APIs to post on certain channel. You are able to read data from there. You are able to push some of the list to those promotional site or marketing platforms that we have. So that entire ecosystem, which is quite evolving right now, where you need integration to social media, you want to read from social media to get some analytics on your in-house apps, everything is possible on the platform. If I have to talk about specifically one of the example on a field inspection, let's say a CONTOSO person is doing some kind of field inspection and they have some kind of FNO connectors. They will need some D365 CE connector. They could be dual right setup working behind the scene. There are some purchase order, product inquiry, a lot of finance and operation kind of a theme, but also working with D365 CRM where they have a lot of customer service related data, their case management system and everything is residing there. You will have a custom connector which will bind those data, and entire flow will work end to end on the Dataverse environment. Now talking about one more example, which is of Canvas app, GPS, camera capabilities. So you see a very well example where you can read, do some kind of data entry. Some person is visiting, putting some kind of inspection note. He's able to read through those images. You are able to analyze that data on. So all those examples I just talked about, you can put some kind of AI builder or analyzing with the items on a grocery store as well to read the item details and make some actions. There are certain examples on CDX around that as well. Now talking about any kind of mechanical ONGC or auto car company, if you are, then what kind of plant images you might have, which you have on Azure storage, you can have Power App seeing all those images. You can have some kind of um, insights which are generated through those plant images, and you have those landscapes, means the dynamic system is doing all those validation of the information. You have emails being sent as notification on some completed action. You do have some another dynamic systems to do some kind of work issues flows for the futures. You might have some custom vision, um, this is again Azure component also running behind the scene to do, which is supported through Azure functions. So you all the way you are building the data and AI, Azure and Power Platform capabilities of Microsoft product portfolio along with SharePoint, and you are able to create the end-to-end story. It can be implemented on an any kind of auto car company as well, some kind of mechanical instrumentation company as well, because analyzing those images, writing those data, doing those email notification, then again doing some kind of AI and custom vision algorithms on those data. This is a typical scenario which any of those kind of industry would look forward to. So coming to some kind of examples where a lot of great Azure partners are evolving with the Power Platform, because we do have avenues where Macro Bank is one of the well-known examples, which is published on customerstories.microsoft.com as in Power Platform example, where they have used Azure Function, Power BI, and doing those SMS with the 365 connector setup. So their examples is well known, established example, which can be re-implemented on a lot of other banking sector. This is one of the well-tested infrastructure. So, I mean, their examples, reusing their examples on the field can be partner work, and we request partner to leverage that effort to brainstorm similar architecture examples. Now I'm talking about one of my another favorite topic, which is power of PCF. So many of you must be aware, in case not, PCF controls are one of the newer technology on Power Platform, where we are saying this feature will let you create a lot of interactive pieces on the UI. Let's say you have a simple form, but you want to create image plus data kind of a form. You want to create some graphs plus image kind of form. So everything we give some kind of template, and we let you create your own template on that framework, and we let you create that end-to-end interactive UI, which is still working and being supported with a lot of flows, Power BI, and Dynamics 365 connectors. On top of that, we also have our accelerator for healthcare, non-profit, we have for finance, and now that we have for sustainability as well. So all those accelerators are anyways working on dataverse, so everything is supported in this entire platform and data is well transformed. Another one I just want to touch base upon, media industry. This is one of the industry which we talk less about, but this can be a very good example for kids games. And a lot of scenarios where kids are looking for some kind of cartoon or media or music kind of regular one for adults or us as well, like any kind of music or album or any kind of thing. So those kind of organization, if they want to set up on Power Platform, we do have a very good avenue where we put their data on the common data service. Our logic apps and functions can run behind the scene. We create this kind of information to optimize the cost and make it very fast and robust. We might have a lot of project online running behind the scene, which can run and sync with the data online. So of course, Teams infrastructure will be running on top of it exclusively and working seamlessly with the vendor infrastructure in case they have. So these kind of solutioning, these kind of design concepts can be implemented, and this is one of the combination I am discussing in front of you. There could be many other. Now, if I have to talk about one of the another example, which is more about, let's say, board app, where you have a group of members, users. There could be few of the users coming from Office 365. Some of them are AAD users. How do you have that entire different user group coming to the team infrastructure, and then you create those appointment, the document flows, you create different power apps with, you provide different roles to access those documents, can be on the OneNote. Those documents can be connected through custom connector to the PDF generator through Azure function. This might look like a complex flow, but imagine some of the great Azure developers who know this part of it. If they can work with a Power Platform expert, this end-to-end story for Azure side, they have done the middleware work. For Power Platform side, they have done the front end work. So this work together will go as one shot for the customer to create an end-to-end story on the entire platform. Now, last but not the least, I would talk about offline services in case you have to talk about a lot of offline features like your app. You are a field technician, or if you get the user base who will be working on those remote areas where internet connectivity can be suspicious. So in those cases, Canvas app works on offline feature as well. What email and what data they can feed on the offline, they can come online and their changes can be saved on the app. They might have some sync button, save when you are online, and kind of thing they can do. So all of these things that I'm explaining at this moment, those are very interesting concepts, and um, everything together for an ISV to unlock, I would say a lot of us talk about this custom connector piece, but in case you have some default connectors, you can still build a great story. But for ISV especially, we encourage you to create custom connectors wherever needed to enhance that experience for partners in case they have some specific APIs which are in-house APIs. The development cycle is very easy and simplified. It can be hosted by ISVs or it can be hosted in customer's tenant. It's fully editable. The data migration policy for those solutions are also well explained. We as Microsoft Architect are supporting in this entire journey, and please let us know in case you have any kind of challenges in those motion. We are heavily promoting these motions with different ideas, and your PDMs can help you learn more about what are the different latest avenues for you as an ISP from different country locations. So that's about my entire session today.